Platchums!
Just to make sure everything's in the right place. So, 2021. Bit of another funny year, wasn't it? Luckily, me and Dan had our PlayStations to keep us company during these tumultuous times. And it was a bit of a funny year for games. So we thought we would discuss our top 3 favorite games, or best games, you could say, that we've played this year. Now, we aren't tying ourselves to games that were released this year, just for the record, because in fairness, there wasn't a whole lot of big games. There were some good ones released, but across the board, it was a bit of a lackluster year for gaming. So, Dan, the year is almost at an end. We have passed a year being the Platchums, which is also noteworthy in and of itself. So, I think if you want to start, what is the third best game? Or in no particular order. Who cares?
No particular order.
No particular order. What is one of your best 3 games you played this year?
Yeah, it's a really tough question. I've played. I think to date, I think I've gotten 59 platinums this year. So, and there's been a lot of games I've gone back to and played, or some games that I didn't get the platinum on. So I've played, 60 to 70 games on the PlayStation this year. So it's hard to pin down 3. Like I could easily do a top 10 list, I think. But
yeah.
So the first one I'm going to get out of the way is Resident Evil Village, which is the game that was actually released this year. This was a hotly anticipated game for me. I speak about it ad nauseum about how much I like Resident Evil, but Resident Evil 8 I think it's fair to say it surpassed my expectations. I didn't think that it was going to be as good as it was.
Well, you got to step back in the biceps of Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
I'll do a Redfield bicep pose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll just come back into it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting Resident Evil 8 to be as good as it was, because, new games these days, it's hard to know.
Oh, it's dodgy. It's on another
hard to know. I loved Resident Evil 7 a lot. I really like it. Was definitely one of my favorite games of the last generation. I love Resident Evil 4, and I think Resident Evil 8 was just Resident Evil 4 plus Resident Evil 7, which was just for me great. Yeah. Now,
pina colada of a cocktail in a game.
Yeah. Which is also my favorite cocktail.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, I can appreciate some of the criticisms of the game. But for me, the game was just fun. It was just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And I really got into the speedrun scene for it. There was a lot of speedrun stuff, trying to route the best and fastest route, and do it at the harder difficulties. I didn't do any of it myself. I was just watching other more talented people do it. But I just knew the game. And I'd gotten the platinum, so I knew the game like inside out anyway. And it was fun. It was fun to see the community get better and better times for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So from the minute I finished the game, I think I still watched like a playthrough of Resident Evil 4 at least daily for about a month.
Yeah, I think you were saying anytime I called you, were like, oh man, I just watched this like amazing speed run. He did it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, it was just great. And just like seeing like, I got to the point where I was able to watch, them do a boss fight, and I knew if they lost 5 seconds, I was like, oh, 5 seconds, it's gone.
So
it was just great fun. It was really good fun speed game to watch. But yeah, the game for me was just great. It was a lot of fun. It had a lot of throwbacks to, the Resi 4, and Yeah, I really loved Resident Evil Village. I thought it was great. So
Solid
that's my
choice.
first choice. Yeah.
Solid choice. My first choice, and can I just preface this by saying I haven't played as many games this year as Dan, especially games that were released this year. But I did play one in particular that was released this year, and I have no issue with saying that it was by far my favorite game this year, and that's It Takes Two. So It Takes Two is from Haze Studios, from the mind of Joseph Fares, one of my favorite kind of personalities in the gaming sphere. Um, and in terms of just, I guess it felt like a conclusion or like a coming together of all the ideas that he had in a way out that weren't fleshed out or expanded on. Like a way out feels like a very much like a preface to this. Um, and it's so just joyous. It's just so fun, and there's so many great homages to like movies and other games, and the fact that it's built from the ground up to be played cooperatively. That's the only way you can play it. It just there's just something about that I loved, and it really like utilizes the co-op concept and like the kind of I guess the format of it. Every chapter brings like new gameplay mechanics. You're never stuck with like the same weapon or like a tool. It always changes, and everyone's got like a particular role. Like you'd never have the same like weapons or tools as like your co-op partner. So it's like, how come you get the cool one, but then in the next chapter you get the cool one? You know, like the spray gun or whatever.
Yeah.
Set pieces, the level design, the artistic style is great. Like the story, much like a way I you could claim it to be like the weakest aspect of it. Like it's not going to be what draws people in. It's just the sheer quality of the gameplay. Like in terms of just a game, it's the most fun I've had in years, and that like I would ardently like stress that it's just if you find someone to play with, it's just so just it's joy distilled. It's pure gaming joy distilled, and I love it for that. And even when I just back to the story, like I still think it's charming, it's endearing in its own way. And there's like one of the most tonally mad scenes I've ever seen in a game where it just comes out of nowhere, and it's so tonally different to everything that comes before and after. Anyone that's played it will know what I'm talking about. So I couldn't really recommend it enough. I don't want to like say too much more about it because I think the best thing about that game, like I actually bought it on release day, because I just like to support people like Joseph Fares who seem to make it their goal to think outside the box and try new ideas. And
there are like passionate people, there are crazy people, and there is me.
The fact that they give the Game Pass, like they did with the Way Out, where you don't need to buy the game. If your friend has it, your friend can just give you like a pass. You go onto the store, download the friend's pass, and then you can play. You can get trophies. So it's essentially acts like you have a copy of the game. And of course, it supports like online and local co-op. So, but yeah, the joy of it is just in like what's coming next. And the last thing I'll say about it, it's essentially like your childhood imagination put in a game. So I don't know, I just thought it was fantastic, and I'm so delighted that it did as well commercially and critically as it did. I definitely think compared to Brothers in a Way Out, it was far more successful. So I just can't wait to see what he does, what Hazelight and Joseph Fares do next, and whatever it is, I'm definitely going to be getting it and looking forward to it. So that's my game of the year, 2021.
You've heard it here first. Yeah, damn it. I thought we were going to get another video out of Game of the Year, but we can, we'll figure something out.
Censor it. Every time I say It Takes Two, just be.
But that's, it makes, as you're describing it, it makes no sense how, a duo like us haven't played that together, because I still haven't played it.
You haven't played A Way Out either. Which I have said that like if we were to do like a gameplay series, it has to be A Way Out. Like it's short, it's super fun. Like the platinum considering that I could be your master, your guide through it, it'd probably be like 5-6 hours, I would say.
Yeah, we have to do that because I really do want to play it, and I wouldn't like to play It Takes Two first because, like you said, it's more of an evolution. So
yeah, just let me know when you want to do it, and I can give you the pass for it anyway because I own it.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, and thank you, Joseph.
Yeah. And fuck the Oscars.
Joseph there. I love this. Come on. I'm a passionate man. Nobody will ever, even if I do AAA, this is an independent game. But even if I do that, it will always be the game I want it to be.
All right.
But fuck the Oscars, Fuck the Oscars. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. Jeff Knightley just wanted the world to swallow him up, didn't he? So, second game after Resi 8.
Yeah, I suppose there's some obvious ones. I'm just trying to think about it from is this the game that's going to last with me the longest, or is it the game that I had the most fun with at the time? And I'm thinking
philosophical.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the latter there, about more kind of just the quality of the game at the time,
in the moment,
even if it was more of a one-off experience. So I think next game I'm going to say is probably Ghostrunner, which is a game that I didn't have any expectations about really at all. It was a game that I thought looked very cool, but I didn't really hear much about it. It's actually the Missing Collectibles video that I watched, and that kind of sold me on it because they had a platinum kind of journey on that game. I downloaded it as part of PS Now because it was one of the downloadable games, and it was in a month where I got a pretty good usage of PS Now, and I just had such a great time with the game. It's very, very fast paced, kind of not really stealth. It's got kind of stealth aspects. It's like Mirror's Edge meets
on steroids,
meets Dishonored. Meets I don't know. Basically, it's very twitchy. So you die in one shot of anything, but you kill enemies in one shot as well.
And high stakes for everyone involved. Russian roulette,
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that everything stays exactly the same. So it's all about memorizing and refining it. And if you get shot or you fall or whatever, you come back within instantly. There's no respawn time at all. So you're just constantly in the action the whole game. You're just, you could get 90% of the room cleared of enemies, and then someone will shoot you, and then you'll just be straight back at the start, and then you're just straight back in it again. But it never ever felt frustrating. It never felt like the game did me wrong. It was always my error. So I
always the hallmark of a good game. Always the hallmark of a good game. When it feels like that was me.
That was me.
It's all me.
Exactly. And as well, the ramp up of difficulty is amazing. There's a very I wouldn't say a high barrier to entry, but the start of the game is quite difficult because you're just wow, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. I'm dying every 3 seconds. I don't think I'll be able to play this game. But then you get the kind of fundamentals, and the game starts to make sense, and then you kind of realize, I kind of know now how to move the character and how to kill the guys. But then every single mission, they bring in something slightly new that you have to deal with, so it'll be as simple as, a sniper or a guy with a shield or a brute guy or a guy that runs at you, Every mission has a slightly different variable or
on it,
tweak. Yeah. And it just kept, every mission felt kind of fresh. There was missions that were more platform based. And then there was even boss encounters as well. They're quite few and far between, but they're still there.
It Takes Two. There's bosses and It Takes Two. Some of them were I wouldn't go like they were structured almost like Dark Souls.
Yeah, I've heard that about the game. That's very varied, but this game is not. It's not. It wouldn't be like a varied game. The gameplay is just core. A free running / kind of melee combat, but you've got like a time kind of matrix slowdown mechanic as well. I just had such a great time with it from the minute I started playing it. Well, actually, maybe not the minute, for maybe like 2 hours after I started playing it, because it was very frustrating.
From the initial 2 hours.
Very frustrating at the start. I didn't think I'd be getting too far in it, but it ended up just being such a great game. And it's that kind of great game where the start feels so hard, but then you can go back and you can play it again, and everything feels so easy. Because you've really mastered the game. Well, maybe not mastered it, but you've learned what the game wants you to learn.
Yeah. Oh, no, I love that.
So I think that game is just one of the standout surprise games for me this year, because I didn't really think about it before. And big shout out to Missing Collectible for their platinum journey video for that one, because it's what inspired me to do it.
You boys are inspiring.
Yeah. That's my number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is, again, like I said, this list we're not kind of limiting ourselves to games that were released this year. So I'm going to go back to a game that was released, 7 years ago? 8 years ago. It's probably the only list that's like going over 2021 that this game will be featured on, because everyone else, has played it. But the second choice would be Gravity Rush on the Vita. So I made a big, fuss over the fact I finally got a Vita. And it's like, good man, like it's been out for 10 years, but I'm like, but I'm happy for me, okay? So, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say on it, outside the fact that I just adored just the mechanics of just traversing the world. It was just totally unique. The fact that you're kind of falling towards where you want to go. It's kind of a different thing than, like Superman flying everywhere. It felt just kind of like frantic, but in like a really good way. And it was very satisfying to kind of get your head around the mechanics and just to be able to like accurately get to places. And I thought it just played so well on the Vita. I would be tempted to get the remaster version on the PS4 just to see how that translates to the PS4, because I can't imagine it not being on the Vita, because it was just so well integrated with like, all the utilities the Vita had, the motion control and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought like soundtrack was great, and I just thought it was like the perfect handheld game. Now, like, across like, I played some very good games in the Vita this year. Like Severed would be great, but I think mechanically there's not enough there for me to say that like it would like make the top list. A great game. Uncharted's essentially Uncharted. I've seen it, I've done it. It was pretty damn good. And Tearaway was very unique, but I think it didn't have that kind of same sense of style that Gravity Rush had. Gravity Rush should be the second, says a man in 2021.
I haven't played Gravity Rush in a while, but I remember it very fondly. I had a great time with it. The soundtrack, like you said, is really good, and I really like the art style and mechanics. Yeah, I think they just utilize the Vita, because I remember just being like, like that. Yeah. I enjoyed that game a lot. So, actually, as you say it, I did contemplate playing Gravity Rush 2 this year. Maybe I'll go back to that.
I'll get around to it at some point.
That's on PS Now actually as well. If you have your 7-day,
I've never cashed in. I've never cashed in on the 7-day free trial, so I'm still holding out for hope.
I'd recommend that. Like, if anyone does have that 7-day trial, this is just a Platchums tip of the day, just to line up some games that you might want to play, especially if there's like some shorter games. There's some really good ones.
Do you have a video? I could have sworn you had a video.
No, I don't.
One of your lists. Maybe that's something we should do.
Maybe I'll stop talking and I'll just make a video.
Yeah. We'll get back to you on that. Yeah. Kind of like a hit list for the week free trial.
Yeah. I'll do one. Yeah, there's some nice short
Monday do
experiences.
this, Tuesday this. Okay, so what was your final game this year that's captured your heart?
Yeah, final game, which I'd have to say is, definitely the best game I've played this year, and the game that will, stay with me the longest is Persona 5, because I hadn't played it yet. I owned Persona 5 since like the middle of last year, but it was just sitting there, and I was like
It's been
just felt like
sitting in my living room since you lent it to me for like 4 or 5 months. Like, because I'm making my way through Persona 4. I want to like that. That's an extraordinary game, but I think I only want to talk about games I've kind of finished, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't know the story. Like, it could just completely turn to shit or crumble towards the end. Like, I don't know. I doubt it, but like, I want to experience it first before giving a final verdict on it. But
yeah.
So you were sitting on it for a while before.
It took a long time for me to gain the courage to put Persona 5 in. I had the Royal Edition because that's the one I bought, and the Platinum was thankfully easier but longer. But I'm going to definitely go back. I've said this a few times. I'm definitely going to go back and do Persona 5 as well.
The OG one, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that one too. But and I'm currently working through Persona 5 Strikers. I'm playing that currently at the minute, which is really good too. But Persona 5 was waiting for me. There, I knew it. I even had it installed on the PlayStation, and it has just the best theme song music for the PlayStation 5. I don't know, does it play the same on the PS4? But anytime I scrolled past it, the music started, and I was just like, wow, I can't wait to play this game. But the thing obviously that was putting me off playing it was just the investment. I knew that once I sat down to play this, that I would not be playing anything else
for at least a month or two.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I started playing it, and yeah, I was hooked immediately. It was, it feels like a bigger version of Persona 4. Like, a lot of the same stuff is there, and Persona 4 definitely does some stuff better, I think. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a better game than Persona 4, but it feels like a more modern Persona 4 in a lot of ways. And I just love the game. I love the characters. I love the music. I love the gameplay loop. I love, the balance of the dungeon crawling versus the life sim stuff. I just really loved that game.
It is a good mix. Like, with Persona 4, it took me a while, because what I admire about those games when they're done well, they're so patient in their storytelling. That they really take time to establish the characters, their personalities, their likes, dislikes, their kind of quirks. So when it just, it starts to kind of like, okay, it's a tough guy, or the nerdy guy or whatever, but they slowly peel away those cliches and they become quite fleshed out, even though like it is a ridiculous game, like what's going on. But I think that they do a really good job in like taking the time to grind the characters. And I think once it kind of clicks with you, it really clicks. So I'm kind of at that point with Persona 4.
I remember when I finished The Sopranos, the TV series, I felt like I really knew the characters. No, not the game. I've never played the game.
It's bad.
But yeah, I thought so. But I remember I felt like I really knew these people. I really understood them, because the story was just told so well, and you just saw, exactly like you said, everyone peeled back, everyone's true self. And that's what Persona is like as well. By the end of it, you're like, these guys they're like your friends, which that sounds so sad.
Should we try to dissect the ending of The Sopranos?
Yeah, in another video.
Platchums movie or TV theory.
But yeah, and that was another thing about going to Persona 5 after Persona 4, was that I felt so connected to the Persona 4 characters. I was like, oh, I don't know, can I handle
ready to move on.
And I tried to play Persona 3, but without the trophies, I was not as invested. I'll definitely go back and do it, but I didn't. I only got a few hours into Persona 3. I was like, Persona 5 was calling me. So yeah, I think that's a game that I'm definitely going to go back. I'm going to do the vanilla version, and it's a game that's it immediately jumped up to one of my favorite games of all time. It's in that probably
I'm looking
top
forward to getting
10
to it,
list. So,
I'm looking forward to getting to it, but based on that backlog, it's going to be a couple of months.
Yeah. No, it's very good. So, your last game.
My last one is Dark Souls 3, a game that was released in 2016. So you can see, I don't know, I'm working through older games that I kind of missed out on during the PS4 generation, because before I can make the leap to PS5, which actually I don't even have the choice, because it'll probably be another couple of months before I can walk in. Probably another year before I can walk in and just buy a PS5 without any kind of hoopla or like annoyance or anything like that. So, what can you say about Dark Souls 3 in 2021? It's just a good mix of like the kind of faster combat of Bloodborne, but it's still got that kind of lovely Dark Souls aesthetic. It's just a gameplay kind of loop that I just really adore now. Like, I'm all in on From Software, and it's really been in the past 12, 18 months that kind of the finally got the hooks in me, and I get it, and I really like it now. With Dark Souls 3, I'm at a bit of a wall in terms of the trophies. I finished the second playthrough, but it's just the damn Covenant items. So I only need to do 2 more of them. I think I need to get like 30 vertebrate shackles and something else. So
yeah, because I think it's a bigger grind than Dark Souls 2. And I remember Dark Souls 2 being a bit of quite a grind as well.
It definitely is. Even though I do really like Dark Souls 2 now, I think it gets a slight bit of unfair criticism. I think it done some things pretty well, but it's, in terms of trophies, I was kind of surprised. It's like, it's less obviously a grind in Dark Souls 3 until like boom, you hit a wall with it. So I still need to do the Upsurging of Fire ending, or like the really convoluted ending. So like that, but that's going to be very clean and clear, because I want to get like all the Covenant stuff done. So it's like a straight run just to like finish the last, get the rings that I've left to get that are only available in New Game Plus Plus, and just get the ending. So if anyone wants to help me boost, I'm pulling a Guy Fieriski here, but if anyone wants to help me in Dark Souls 3 to save me an umpteen amounts of time, just let me kill you about 50 times to get the last items. That would be great. So someone heeded my call to arms, and that man was Wooly Rank. He helped me get all the rings in Dark Souls so I could finish that last playthrough and just go straight for the ending. And he also helped me get all those really fucking annoying vertebra shackles. So I would like to thank Wooly Rank for helping me getting the Dark Souls 3 Platinum. So, on account of that, Wooly Rank is a certified mad lad.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have my copy.
Yeah, I'm borrowing Dan's copy because it's such a cheap
Of course,
state.
yeah.
Dan,
I was
calling you the last day.
Yeah.
And I hung up, and then sorry, missed your call. And I was just like thinking it was stupid. And I was like asking Dan, can you help me in Dark Souls 3? But it was like, while I was calling him, like, wait a minute, I have his copy of the game. And I was like, no.
And I remember, because I remember it probably wasn't as much of a grind for me because I played it, like kind of release week. So it was very, very active online with all the covenants and stuff.
It's only the pure, like, pros and the gangsters that are left online, like the ones that have been like running the roost or ruling the roost in this game for like the better part of 3-4 years. I'm always walking into like 3-on-1 encounters. I'm there like trying to use the black separation crystal or the white crystal just to get away, and then like they always get me before I can like leave. So yeah, if anyone fancies helping me, just add me on PSN or leave a comment below, and that would be great, because I'd love just to get that annoying boost, because it does it does, the trophy list, does ruin the joy of those games. Sometimes like the amount of grinding, like it'd be, except it's like, max up one covenant, or like I think it's annoying having to do all of them, and like maybe closer to release, those items kind of free a bit, flow a bit freer than like when you're kind of trying to, farm them or something. But like overall, just an excellent game. Like just so well designed. Just the world design is just like, like the placement of the shortcuts and just the sense of like reward you get for just progressing. And it was nice to go straight into it, even though like I think I platinumed Dark Souls 2 in like a month, but this has already taken me like 8 months so far because I just hit such a wall after the first playthrough, then busy over the summer, and then coming back to it and like just the Covenant stuff. It's like, oh. So it'd be nice to get that done because it's been waiting to be platted for a while. But yeah, still just truly excellent game.
I'd say it's probably my least played Soulsborne game. Not because of any like particular reason. I love Dark Souls 3, but I think it was just because the other games have all kind of been re-released, except for Bloodborne, but I've done a good few playthroughs of that one. But I'd be really excited if they re-released Dark Souls 3 for PS5, or they did like a PS5 version.
So you were saying you want to get the other stack.
yeah, and Bloodborne. I'd be big into another re-release of them. Free
free upgrade,
possibly.
just
That'd
if
be
you're
good.
feeling kind. But yeah, those were our favorite games of the year. Two of mine probably have a combined age of like 15 years, but sure, that's the way it goes. So before we go then, though, we're going to do a little countdown. And at the end of the countdown, we're going to say what our most anticipated game for next year is.
Okay.
So on 3, 1.
Are we gonna say it on 3 or after 3?
Maybe 3 and then say it.
So 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Say it.
Yes. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get the ground rules straight.
Just establish the rules. This isn't the Wild
West.
What
my answer is going to be anyway.
Okay.
But
yeah. 1, 2, 3. Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, we're gonna have some fun with that when it releases.
Yeah. I know it was supposed to come out on my birthday, and now it's coming out a month later. But I think that was meant to be,
Bastards. Anyway, Dan, a joy as always, and here's hoping
some great choices.
Here's hoping I actually play games that are like new next year. I finished the backlog. Now, I think next year is lining up a bit nicer for me, like games that I'm actually really, really interested in.
This was a buffer year,
It was. Yeah. It really, really was. So, Dan, I'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Platchums!